Hello to guys, people. I want to talk to you for a few minutes about relationships, and I do mean, for clarity, relationships like sexual relationships. The majority of the relationships that we partake in are going to be worthless. Not useless, but worthless. And that may sound a bit offensive to some of your exes, but it's true. The truth must be heard, and the truth is in the word. So I'm going to read to you from the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verses 26, 27, and 28. And it reads as follows. And I find more bitter than death the woman, whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands as bands. Whoso pleaseth God shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her. Behold, this have I found, saith the preacher, counting one by one to find out the account, which yet my soul seeketh, but I find not. One man among 1,000 have I found, but a woman among all those have I not found. These are the words of Solomon. Solomon the preacher, King Solomon, respectively, son of King David. Respectively. King Solomon, the preacher Solomon, is telling us that it is extremely hard for a man. I hope you can hear me over this wind. It's extremely hard for a man to say no to a woman, to deny himself of a woman, especially a woman who he is in love with. Especially a woman who he is, and it's very easy to fall in love with someone that you are having sexual relations with. Now, the woman whose heart is snares and nets. Snares and nets are used to trap and encompass things. And her hands is bands. Bands are used to strap down and tie down things to keep them in their place. Whoso pleaseth God shall escape her. So, you please God, you can escape these snares, nets, and bands. You please God but the sinner shall be taken by her. You escape the woman by pleasing God. You please God by saying no to sin. Now, in verse 28, Solomon tells us that he searched out 1,000 women. In the first book of Kings, it is written that he took on 700 wives and 300 concubines. So he literally searched through 1,000 women to find this out. But he sinned with each and every one of these women. Even his first wife, the daughter of Pharaoh, it is recorded that they together loved some of these foreign women. So they were having relations with some of these women together. Solomon did not please God in his dealings with these women. So he did not escape these women. Those women caused him to fall to idolatry because they turned his heart away from God. He was chasing after their gods. And through this, he lost a great deal of the kingdom that he had. And also, that sin became iniquity, and that iniquity was visited unto his children and his children's children. Now, he searched through 1,000 women to find this out. Adam only had one wife. I'm going to read to you 1 Timothy chapter 2, verses 13 and 14, just for a bit more clarity. I'm sure you already know. For Adam was first formed, then Eve. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman, being deceived, was in the transgression. The snake beguiled Eve through a conversation, and she knew that she wasn't supposed to partake in the fruit. You can tell by the conversation that she had with the snake. Then she brought that fruit to Adam. Adam knew, of course he knew, that he wasn't supposed to partake in the fruit because that's what God told him. But he hearkened unto his wife. He did not please God by hearkening unto his wife. Instead of doing what God told him to do, he did not escape the woman. He was taken by the woman, and he was kicked out of Eden because of this, because of that sin, along with his wife, Eve. What am I saying? Having a multitude of sexual partners is only going to hurt. It's only going to hurt. It's going to be worthless. Worthless in the sense that it's only going to add to our sin, and it's only going to add to our cup of iniquity, making our sin deepen, and then our sin becomes iniquity. And of course, that is visited unto our children and our children's children that come behind us. Worthless in that sense, but not useless, because you're going to learn something from your sin. If you only learn this one lesson, that sin is going to, for a certainty, add sorrow, pain, grief, and death to your life. That is a definite lesson. If you don't learn anything else from your sin, learn that it will add those things to your life, and more of it the more you stay in sin. So count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptation, but do not stay in sin. Escape sin. Please God, escape the woman if you must. But having a multitude of sexual partners is nothing to marvel at. It's going to cause you more than you realize. So keep this in mind. I pray that this blesses everyone who hears it. Bless you individually and collectively. My name is Jack. I really do appreciate you watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share if you so choose. But don't forget to praise God.